Hopefully everyone is having an amazing morning, afternoon, or evening, depending on wherever you're tuning in the world. My name is EQ. Welcome to Alchemy Meta. I'm here to help you become a better crypto trader overall. And on today's video is going to be a pretty interesting one. We're going to be talking about a main topic of centralized versus decentralized. And for these examples, we're going to be looking at Binance, the BNB hack, and then another major hack that happened and the difference between the outcome of these two events. So within the last 2 weeks, there was around $570 million worth of BNB tokens that were stolen. And if you follow my channel, you know that I always talk about these bridges being the most vulnerable part of crypto, where the majority of hacks happen are in these bridges. And in this specific situation, the hacker was able to take advantage of the cross-chain beacon. And basically within the first couple hours of this happening, Binance was already shutting down and stopping and halting all transactions on the Binance network. So what Binance does to fix this problem is it creates a hard fork, which basically separates and isolates all of the hacked money and allows for the chain to continue to move in a different direction. Now, this has already happened historically, but there's a big difference between what's happening now and what happened back then. If you don't know, Binance is considered centralized. They are a centralized exchange, they're a centralized authority. The majority of their nodes and validators are also ran in-house, so it is definitely a centralized ecosystem, which allowed Binance to basically burn as many BNB tokens as the hacker minted from thin air, which basically means they can do whatever they want with their tokens whenever, however, and it doesn't really matter because they're the centralized authority. So when it's all said and done, the hacked money is already gone, they can't use it. Now what makes this topic really interesting is that when you look back, Ethereum actually had the exact same thing happen to them. So in 2016, Ethereum suffered a massive hack as well, and they had to create a hard fork. Now in the process of that hard fork creation, we have the traditional Ethereum, we have the standard Ethereum that we know now as ETH, and then Ethereum Classic was also created from this hard fork. The reason why that you have the Ethereum Classic hard fork is because Ethereum is decentralized. There is no central authority, so when things happen, especially like a hard fork or a hack or anything like that, it needs to go through the entire economy and community. So the big difference between Ethereum and Ethereum Classic is that Ethereum are all of their standard ETH users. You would call it like a traditional Classic person that they mitigated and took out the hack and continue to process through the Ethereum network without the hack. Basically what Binance did or BNB did, that's essentially what Ethereum is and what they had to do in 2016. Now Ethereum Classic was actually created from the people and the fundamentalists of Ethereum that believe that code is law. They believe that no matter what happens on a blockchain, it should be permanent and it should never be erased and looked back on and forgotten. So that's really where Ethereum Classic came in and why it is the project that it is. AKA their community is very hard driven on code and by following the standard of blockchain and smart contracts. And that's the major difference between these scenarios, is that when Ethereum had to go through this forking situation, they had to create their fundamentalist version and then the Ethereum traditional version so that they could compensate for both sides of their decentralized nature and their validators, because they have a ton of validators across the board. Ethereum can't just go and shut down all the transactions on the Ethereum network when they want to, kind of like what Binance was doing. It's not as easy for Ethereum to do that. Whereas with Binance, they could create the fork, they could mitigate the fork, and then they didn't even have to create this fundamentalist or this traditional Binance or BNB token because they're centralized. So there's no one that they have to appease to. All the validators and nodes and everything are basically ran by them. So they were able to fork and turn everything without having to create the secondary version. And that's really going to be the big difference between a decentralized and a centralized ecosystem, foundation, exchange, whatever you want to call it. The main thing is that when things are decentralized, one central authority will not have the power to just decide what's going to happen next for the future of the project. And that's going to wrap up this video. If you have any questions, drop them in the comment section. If you're not following or subscribed to our YouTube channel, make sure to hit that follow button. Throw a like on this video, it'd be greatly appreciated, and go check out the Alchemy Trading Group as well. Hopefully all of you have an amazing day, and we'll catch you on the next video.